Vince! No, that's Vince McMahon! That's Vince McMahon!
Well, everybody already knows how this goes. We all know in wrestling, nobody ever really stays retired. I mean, look how many times The Undertaker's come back. Or Steve Austin. Or Mick Foley. So it was only a matter of time before the boss, Vince McMahon himself, made his own return to his own company. What's going on, everybody? So, if you heard what I just said, then you know exactly what it is that we're going to be talking about and where we're going to be taking this, because it is pretty straightforward. Vince McMahon, the man himself, is back. If you haven't already, then think about it for a second. The immediate question to ask yourself is, well, what do you mean Vince is back? Well, yeah, Vince was unfortunately let go, let's just say.
You're fired!
Vince McMahon, the billionaire CEO and primary shareholder of World Wrestling Entertainment, stepping back temporarily from his leadership roles within the company. The WWE and its board of directors announcing it today, saying he'll be stepping aside while it conducts an investigation into alleged misconduct. This comes after the Wall Street Journal reported the board of directors is investigating alleged hush money payments he made to a former employee. But WWE reports McMahon will maintain control of the company's creative storylines while under investigation. In typical brash McMahon fashion, he's not going quietly. The WWE reports he'll appear tonight live on SmackDown in character to address the scandal. A source familiar with the matter told CNBC reporter Alex Sherman that McMahon has torn up the script for SmackDown that was written last night. The company reports McMahon has no intention of making this leave permanent.
Alright, so you heard the situation about Vince temporarily retiring, and I utter the words temporarily because you heard at the end that he has no intention of making this a permanent thing because of alleged misconduct with some payments that had to be made for some bad performances. We've seen Vince do a thing or two before, so I don't know why this really surprised anybody. But of course, it was all part of the storyline, or so we think. So it is alleged that he paid more than about $12 million to about 4 different women for the accusation of misconduct and some infidelity claims. So of course, Vince does what Vince has to do, and what the board demands that he has to do is we need you to let the air clear. We need you to let the dust settle, and we require you to temporarily step back, Vince. Just get out of the public light, let things kind of calm down, and then once things are finally calmed down, you can make your triumphant Undertaker type return. Now, at the time, I haven't watched wrestling in a long time, but I'm gonna assume that responsibilities either fell to Shane, Stephanie, or Linda. One of those three. And if not one, probably all three. Remember something. Even though Vince had temporarily stepped back, he is still technically the majority shareholder, holding anywhere between about 30 to 35% of the company. So he does call the shots still. And in typical Vince fashion, you gotta love that little added touch, where even though he's gonna temporarily be removed from the company, he's still going to be in charge of the creative process, which means the storylines are still going to come through and be filtered by him, adding on his own little touch here and there. You gotta respect it. So Vince, the 77-year-old genetic jackhammer, as some would refer to him as, announced on that day that he was going to retire and also placed it in a tweet, and then the rest is history. It actually happened July 22nd, 2022. Which brings us to today. So Vince McMahon is back, as you just heard. He's back, but not just back for any old reason. He's not just back for business as usual. It would seem that as talks go through the ether, that there is a potential, and I utter the words, and I have to restate this again, potential sale of the WWE that is floating through the wind. Based on the notes that I've seen so far, here's what they say. JP Morgan has allegedly been hired to advise on a sale, some sources say. Vince McMahon rejoined the WWE on Friday to begin a potential sale process, and they're looking to close this deal anywhere before or after the TV renewal deals have to take place, before those negotiations actually have to happen. That is huge. So it would seem that if they were to target a sales date, they're looking for anywhere in the realm of April to about July. And the thinking behind it is actually pretty straightforward. WWE makes a profit. So if they make a profit, if WWE continues to make a profit, why not sell it while the potential is hot? The thing about it is, though, WWE is also a legacy type company. Like, I have had my own run-in with the WWE in terms of entertainment. It's always been an entertaining factor. at one point in time. And I stand corrected. It is actually not Stephanie, Shane, or Linda. It is simply Stephanie and Nick Khan that remain co-CEOs of the WWE as it stands today. But they are quoted as stating that it is essential that Vince's presence is there in terms of creating popular characters and, of course, creating popular storylines. So remember when I said that the WWE is kind of hot right now? As of Friday, on the speculation that there was potentially going to be a sale, they saw a soaring of about 17% in terms of their market pricing and their market capitalization to rise to about $6 billion. Listen, I just chalked that up to the McMahon effect. Vince has that kind of effect on people. But now, the question that I want to know is, if there is a seller, which we know is the WWE, who's the buyer? Because the potential buyer can't just be a Joe Schmo. This must be a heavy hitter, so who in the world would be the potential buyers? Well, according to CNBC, it would seem that Comcast is actually the first name mentioned in terms of purchasing the WWE, especially in light of the fact that, they already have a streaming deal with them. The next in line, surprisingly enough, is Fox. I'm kind of indifferent to that offer, but the third offer now is actually Disney. So you have Comcast, Fox, and Disney. All of these three streaming channels would probably be a good fit for it. Although I don't know how I'd feel if this were to go to Disney. Although to kind of just put it bluntly, the show is technically already kind of Disney-fied. I mean, it is censored like crazy, and Disney does certainly have the money, and that mouse already owns everything. So if they did go that direction, I honestly wouldn't be surprised at all. There are some other players that were falling into this mix, some other names that were mentioned, such as Warner Bros., Netflix, Amazon and even Endeavor, Liberty Media. All of those channels I think would be an okay fit, but the three first ones, Comcast, Fox, and then Disney, I think are the three most likely to actually get this deal done. Not only do they have the capital, that's for sure. I mean, all these companies have the capital more or less, but they also have the viewership. Those first three really do have the viewership in order to generate the kind of eyeballs that would need to be viewing the WWE in order for it to be a sustainable business. I mean, to be honest, I can't really actually see the WWE on like a Netflix, unless they did buy the company and then they redid the whole Attitude Era all over again, or put it that you could stream it. Then we can get talking. But let me know what it is that you guys think. That's all I got for now. Who do you think it goes to? Do you think Vince's return helps or does damage to the company's image? Do you think that this little scandal is over with? And who do you think this will go to, if it does go to someone and this sale is actually legit? If they sell, who's the buyer? Fox, Disney, or Comcast, or any one of those other ones that I had mentioned earlier. But I will see you guys again for the next one, because that is all I got. Be easy, y'all.
Yeah!